What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my first live. Um, Hopefully, we start getting people in here. Um, Tonight, we're just kind of figuring it out and what we're doing. We have a special guest tonight that I know all of you guys love, uh, James Jackson. Uh, let's see who's in here. Let's see. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Saturday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I was putting Friday in my in my description. Um, I hope everyone's doing well. And let me just see who is in here tonight. All right. Oh, Kelly, good to see you, honey. Good to see you. Wait for a couple more people to get in here. Dogma. Oh, Kimmy, what's going on, baby girl? I'm happy you guys are here. I thank you here for supporting me. And we're just gonna kind of wing it because I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have a good friend here that is gonna help me figure it out. So, without further ado, James Jackson. Hi,
Amy.
James.
What's up, Amy?
Hi.
How are
What's
you?
going on? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Things are
Yeah.
good.
Good. Yo, shit's been popping off on your channel with JFK lately. You guys have been getting all the people. James calm.
What do you mean? Me and
uh,
Jay, what's popping off? What's up,
Everything.
JFK? Calm the fuck down. I'm
JFK.
calm. You know I'm calm. Yeah, no, things have been popping off.
I
We've been
mean,
getting some distinctive phone calls, and I mean,
yeah.
it's clear to see who it is, and that phone call came from frustration of us meeting a childhood friend of that person, and that childhood friend telling us some childhood memories, to say the least,
Right.
and just letting us know how that dude, how he got down, and what he was about. And we asked like the real questions, like. And our boy Seaside, we still, if you in any chat, if you see this, you happen to replay crew, we love you too. Anyone that supports James Jackson, JFK, we appreciate you. We got Amy,
Yes.
her first live. I appreciate you, Amy, having me on your first live.
I
And
appreciate you.
yeah, and it's been great. JFK and I had, him landing was great. Just spending time with my boy, and but it was like first 48. So for the first 48 hours, we hit the pavement hard, real hard, like pause,
You guys
disclaimer.
were working. Yeah, for
Yeah, we was
sure.
working, and we was working hard. Like my man had to take 3 planes. I had to cross 3 lanes
With turbulence, obviously.
with turbulence in the chat. And shit just gets crazy sometimes, and you just gotta know how to deal with that turbulence. Either you
Right.
strap
I
in, or
mean,
go ahead.
not only in just the last phone call that you got from what I'm 100% certain was Brian Higgins,
Why, you
you
know
had, huh?
you know it's him, huh? You could tell right
I'm
away, right?
positive, like right away, immediately. You know when JFK called his ass out so quick, he's
Yeah,
like,
Jay.
yeah, not on my watch, Higgins.
And I
You
hear a lot of
got
people, real quick. So I'm sorry, but I hear a lot of people say this, that JFK should have let him go longer. But let me just say one thing to you. That's like when people would say what they would have done if they found the banner. Listen, JFK let him go until he realized who the fuck it was. And then think about it. He's like, God damn, this dude really called into a YouTube show?
right.
Yo, you sound like Higgins, bro. You
Yep.
wrong. You wrong.
You won't. He was trying to be like kind of thuggy and trying to like throw off his voice, but
Well,
his voice is so distinct. And
yes.
I even said like I wrote into the Glarer the other night when he did the reenactment of what happened, and I was like, no one from South Boston calls it South Boston is Southie. Everyone calls it
No, no,
Southie. You know what I
no.
mean?
Nobody calls that South Boston. I mean, you
Nobody.
might hear that if you're, away somewhere at camp or somewhere far or out of state, to say the least.
Right.
And they say, where you from? But most of the time they do say Southie. As far
Southie.
as I know, I'm 43 for as long as I've been alive. I've never, the only person I've really heard say South Boston was Kevin from South Boston.
Right. Kevin.
Yeah,
And it's a curious name as to why he
right.
said Kevin. Like who? Kevin Albert, Kevin, you know.
Kevin,
And
yes,
I think that you guys really triggered him by going to the waterfall and showing how small it really is.
right.
How because the security cameras make it look like it's like a huge club room, and then you guys go there and you show people how small it was, and talking to a childhood friend didn't help. He was probably bugging. He had
Oh
to have
yeah,
been to call into you too, you know.
yeah, yeah. No, he definitely was bugging for sure, man. And it's like, you know, where the fuck was his PR at the time to tell him calm the fuck down? You know, he was probably with some girl, and she's like, "You really gonna let these two just say that you did that?"
Right.
Because let's be clear, you know, our buddy Seaside told us all about you, man, and we know that you may have not have made that final blow, or even, you know, but you're the first to set it off and the first to run, as far as we know. So yeah, Higgins, he called in because he knew that, you know, maybe he didn't commit the actual murder, but guess what? You witnessed it, buddy. So you're just as
Right.
guilty, you
Right.
know? And
Guilty by association,
well, guilty
and
by being a
he.
shitbag too. Calling, you know,
That's a fact.
that's a fact. You know, guilty by being a piece of shit, hitting up John
He learned
O'Keefe's girl.
him there.
Yeah, man. Well, I think Chris A lured him there, to be honest. And yeah, so I think Chris A, because you know, I made that ride with my boy. Me and JFK made that ride back and forth to New York, and I made it with a couple times. And you know, that ride, you just either you sleep, or you listen to music, or you just talk. Like,
Right.
the fuck you gonna do for 2.5 hours in a car?
The best bonding time.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, usually I get yelled at by JFK, so I just act like I'm sleeping. I'm just
Poor
kidding.
James.
I'm just kidding. Yo, he showed nah.
JFK gets some act
Yo,
right.
disclaimer, disclaimer. My man, yo, straight. We have some great conversation, but
JFK's a good
um,
dude.
yeah, yeah, we have great conversation, and so yeah, I mean, I know those guys had some type of conversation that, and I believe that Chris A called him, was like, guess who came by earlier with his nephew, or you know, whatever you want to, however you want to say that.
Right.
And I think it just started from there. And Kevin A was in the whip. Uh, Brian Higgins was driving allegedly.
Mm.
Brian A was in the whip, and some other clown. So there was four. It was a clown car. I mean, I've been in clown cars. Dudes wearing Crocs and shit. Shit gets weird. So you never know.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, with this whole thing with Brian Higgins, I don't know that he was the actual unaliver, but he was there and they were drinking all day, and I think you have something to that where they were driving home talking about Karen, and he sees her feeling some type of way, feeling jealous of John, all this kind of stuff, and for him to have texted him like, "Are you coming here?" It may have been Colin, it may have been Brian Albert, like everything got out of hand. But at the end of the day, legally, um, it doesn't matter because whoever was there and participated is just as guilty. And you guys triggered him that night. Between
So
everything that was said, like he had a huge issue with it. I thought was funny was he called in. He said he respected what you and JFK do, and I think it's because you have a different
demeanor,
take on the trial.
because we
You
have a
guys
different
aren't like,
demeanor than most, and if we see
well,
him, he's not.
things that you guys say are a lot different than other creators, and it's
Why is that? Well, I mean, can you elaborate? What do you mean by that? Like, what
you
we say?
guys take it for in different perspectives, as of like, you're not like I'm trying to say this. Let me pick my words right. You tell Karen what like the real deal is, instead of being like, Karen, you're never gonna get like convicted, or talk. say something, say what really happened at the waterfall, because at this point, your show, you and JFK on that show, constantly prove that something did happen at the waterfall that people do know. That it
Right.
has to be, in my opinion. So you guys have a different perspective on the case, and maybe that's why he watches you guys,
Well, I
because
mean, yeah. I mean, that's a great way to put it. And if you go from our lives, right? If you start from this shit, what's going on? Well, how many? Almost 18 months, more, longer than that.
long time, yeah,
So if you go back to when JFK and I first started, we stayed at the waterfall. We stayed on them sound bites because
right,
these are things that we know that come up in laws, that come up in crimes, that come up. These are things that we stayed on because we was like, all right, they're gonna focus on this, they're gonna focus on that, and nobody was. Everybody thought because everybody said, oh, nothing happened at the waterfall, everything was great, everybody had a good time. Let me tell you something. I was there for 3 minutes in a steak and cheese egg roll, fucking squirted
squirted
all
on you.
over, squirted on JFK. I feel bad. He just had this shit shipped in from Germany. This sick fucking soup, right?
He
Shipped in.
looked great.
No, he looked great, right?
He looked
Pause if
great.
needed. He looked great, right? And I take a bite. Wazam! Hits the fucking lady in the eye behind him. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And she's like, it's okay, James Jackson. I know your uncle. I said, all right. So, it was one of those things. And but they definitely, anyone could hear what was going on that night, anybody. And Karen needs to just say, like, you know Karen zoned it out to try to, like, I felt like Karen was like, god damn, I'm in a position.
Right.
um, what, what's up? You want to read some of the comments? You got something
It
up?
says Crafty Chris, my work wife. She says one thing I haven't heard many talk about post trial was the someone. I don't exactly remember who, but they said Brian A looked disheveled in the morning. Actually, I heard that Brian Albert um Brian Albert had a like broken like rotator cuff or some shit like that. And there was something going on with him after, and he had to go out on leave. And don't let it fool you people either that Brian Albert retired 3 or 4 months before the trial because he knew what was about to pop off, and he didn't want to lose his pension and everything like that. So he parted ways with Boston police. I don't believe that that's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences at
I
all.
just think it's so crazy that, like, the family, had that piece of shit sitting behind Paul O'Keefe.
Right.
Um, just sitting behind Paul, staring Karen down. It's like, Brian, man. Like, and then this dude, Higgins or Kevin from South Boston, he wants to say they're decorated dudes, man. Listen, my grandfather was a decorated dude. That dude was a hero. You're a sucker, bro. You go and make, you go and strip women of their identity. Right away, right off the jump, you strip Karen from her identity by calling her the weed whacker. Like,
Right.
you took away her name. You took away, like, that's your game. Hey, weed whacker. Man, I should.
Well, I mean, I think it was proven in court when they read those text messages that our homeboy Brian Higgins has zero game, and that's why he
I don't know nothing about that game. I just be me. I just be me. Like, see, I got the pink polo T-shirt. I could wear it, but I just rather do this. I be me, and I do different shit. Um,
Your
Brian
game is not
Higgins.
like Brian Higgins.
No, no, no. My game
Know
is
what
way
I mean?
different. My game is
Yeah.
way different than Brian Higgins. Like, um, first of all, I would never go at someone else's girl, especially someone else who is in a situation where they stepped up to the plate to be a great man. This man stepped up. John O'Keefe, R.I.P.
Right.
He stepped up
Right.
to be a great man in life. Like, this man, and he may have struggled. He may have went out and drank and but I hate to see it. I hate to say it like this, but because I know from past experience what alcohol can do, but dare I say, this man had a lot of things going on in his life where his sister just passed, his brother-in-law just passed, he's taking on children, he's got a lot of things going on. So now he's got a relationship he's trying to juggle. So it's a balance. It's a balance. I'm sorry, balance and beam, and he's
It's
trying to
hard.
balance it. Yeah. So it's very hard. Very
And him
very hard.
going out and having some alone time and drinking, if that's his thing, like that was his thing, you know?
Right.
Um,
And they took that from him, man. And it's like, so when you want to call yourself a decorated dude, I mean, decorated for what?
he
Did you?
meant him, and he
Yeah,
meant
he
Brian
met
Albert.
him
He
and
did
Brian
not
Albert.
mean
It's like, yo, you
John
still
O'Keefe.
talking to Brian Albert? You and him still butt buddies? Do you guys still fucking grab
They're not
ass?
even friends anymore, as far as I know.
Yeah, because Brian Higgins probably making deals, snitching them out. Because let's be real, this dude, we broke his ass by showing what the waterfall really was like, and this dude became so unhinged that he called into the show, and we gave
I
him
couldn't
just
believe
enough.
it.
Well,
Yo,
that's the
JFK
type.
called him out so fast. He was like, "You sound like Higgins." He does. He did. It was him. And
The
calling
crazy
from like a
the private number, people was like, oh, you can get his number. Listen, man, I told JFK, I don't give a shit if that number is whatever. It's blocked. The number was blocked, first of all, but
right.
block it. Get that shit far away from us, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want nothing to. Hold on a second. Anybody fucking out in my backyard?
Is anyone rolling back?
I don't want nothing to do with that shit, man. And everyone's like, oh, I hope he calls back. Well, I hope he doesn't. Hope he calls
Right.
you. How about that? You want him to call? I can write him a letter when he's in jail.
Or he's
I
in
don't want that
jail.
guy.
Yeah.
I don't want him calling me. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
But
JFK is saying he kept calling too from the private number, but then they
yeah,
just hang up,
after,
right?
right? See,
And
nah, nah.
you know what makes me believe that it was him? Like if say like I called and I sounded like whatever, like someone like him, and I called and I couldn't like he couldn't even admit that like it wasn't him. Like if someone accused me of something, I'd be like, no, it wasn't. I'm not that person. What are you talking about? All he could do was talk over JFK, being like, you wrong.
Right,
Like
right. Well,
what?
that's what I mean. Like when people say, "Oh, you should have gave him more time to talk." Listen, he said what he was gonna say, and that was it. He wasn't gonna say no more, no less. He said what he wanted to say, and
Yeah.
then he bounced. And
Right.
it's like this, right? I've known JFK now over 30 years plus. If if he called into a show and people was like, "Was that JFK?" I don't know. It sounded like him. I don't know. And then if I hear it, I might say that was, I know my man. I grew up with him.
Right.
Seaside put a stamp on that. That's definitely him. I mean, there's no more question if that's him. We know because of, like I said, how it led up to it was
Mm-hmm.
just crazy. And and when we say he became unhinged because now he's thinking about his childhood when he used to get wedgies by Seaside and the crew, back in. Nah,
Get
for
his
real.
head
That's what.
slushed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he was thinking about. They was picking
Yeah.
on him, and trauma came back. So trauma's real. So how you think Karen
Trauma
feels,
is real.
Higgins?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And I think that he was really into Karen and kind of just things got out of hand. And the thing is too, maybe seeing Karen with John that night after everything that happened with them, really he just couldn't take it. He had been drinking all day. Like you have to understand, like they weren't just drinking like at the waterfall and CF McCarthy's. They were drinking in New York. They were drinking at the hillside. They were drinking everywhere. And they're like, oh, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't this, that, and the other thing. You know, the thing is, this case makes no sense. If this was
What?
any other case with just like regular citizens like you and I, it would have been handled very differently. You know,
What do you
and
mean,
Karen
right?
shouldn't even be. Yeah, JFK, he bugged out when he saw John with Karen, and that's 100%. He was in love with Karen and wanted her, and John, listen, John would always be that trump card. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
girl,
yeah. Even if she was with
always.
Higgins, she would still be calling
Even if she was
John. It's
hooking up
like,
with him.
yeah, it's like, yo, Higgins, think about it, man. She went behind John's back, and I hate to hold up, disclaimer, and that was to check her market value, whatever she was feeling at the time.
I
Remind
love
you,
that term.
this is Karen back in what 2020. So that when we're going to 2020, we're going for almost 5 years later now. This is a Karen 5 years later. I heard her when Aiden Timothy Connie asked her outside the courtroom.
Yeah.
Did you? Well, he asked my uncle first. What do you think about Higgins calling into the JFK and James Jackson show? And her response was, my uncle just started laughing, but her response was, Aiden said he's also said he was a decorated dude. And she's like that really matters. And that's just what it is. Like, they know it was him. So, it's
Right.
just wild, man. Because think
And
about this, right? What could Alan Jackson and Yannetti say? Like, Alan's got that slick wordplay, like Jay said last night. He might
he
say
is smooth
something.
as butter.
Yeah,
He
he
is.
might say something like hey, so are you a decorated are you a decorated dude? And then fucking Higgins, he's like, oh my god, why is he saying that? And he's, you know what I mean? It's just shit like
And
that. And
you
people
know
say,
they heard it. You know
oh
they got the
yeah,
soundbite. It was
facts,
on
facts.
Twitter. It was on everything. They know it was him. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, shit, I
Imagine
sent
if
it
in
to
the
my
next
uncle.
trial they're like, "Oh, so are you a decorated police officer?" Only a police officer is gonna say that they're a decorated police
You don't
officer,
talk street and then say some shit like
right?
decorated. It's like, look,
He has no
I
hood.
decorated this picture with the Santa fucking hat. That's decorated to me. No, for real. What the fuck
Oh,
is
you
he?
got in the Christmas spirit, James. Look at
Of course
you.
I did. I mean, shit. This is Michael Jordan scored 63 points in the playoff games. I was showing my buddy, shout out to John P, Top Choice Click. I was showing him this picture, right? And it says Michael Jordan scored 63 points in the playoff game versus Larry Bird in the Celtics. And I said, yo, you see that? Because he scored 63. He goes, yeah, but it doesn't say, and still lost. And I was like, because I love Jordan, man. But these are old school Boston. They love the Celtics. I love the Celtics too.
I
But
love
yeah,
the
that's
Celtics.
decorated. That's decorated to me. So when he said that, JFK knew right away. Like, too, all he knew right away. But when he said decorated, that just signed, sealed, delivered.
Right, right. He's the only person. And you know too, we can kind of move on. You guys have some other callers too. You guys
Oh yeah,
had Mary from the
Mary,
from the
Mary.
Fupa Five. Yeah,
Is that?
she
Oh,
went rogue.
oh. Oh, I was thinking about the Mary last night that called in. We had this
Oh
Mary
no.
call in last night. She was wilding. She was on Nick Cannon's wilding out for real. But yeah, we had
Oh man.
Mary telling us about Phelps's brother jumping in the pool, saving babies and shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yo, it's like
Everyone wants to call into the JFK and James show. Everybody.
well,
They're like,
cause I guess they hear, regardless of who calls in, we're gonna treat them all the same. That's
right.
just how we live our lives. We are I can speak for the JFK and myself. We're firm believers in God, and we believe everything is God's plan. This is all God's work. So we
Yeah.
treat everybody with respect. We're not here to hurt nobody. At the end of the day, we just seeking
Right.
justice for Karen Reed, and we're trying to free Karen Reed and get justice. I'm sorry, we're seeking justice for John O'Keefe, but to get that justice, we need to free Karen Reed to put the real people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's where it starts because I'm a firm believer that Karen Reed didn't do it
no,
and that
no,
someone else did. And the only way that John O'Keefe is going to get justice is if Karen is exonerated and
right.
they go and seek out the real murderers. If you even look at Sandra Birchmore, like
That's
this same county. I live in Norfolk County. Okay, I
where
know
is
that I'm
where is
aiming
that?
in Boston, huh? I
I'm
live in
sorry. Go
Norfolk
ahead.
County.
There's turbulence in the chat. Hold on. Wait a second.
There's turbulence with the host.
I'm the co-pilot flying this shit.
You're the co-pilot.
Where,
Yeah,
where,
I live in
where,
Norfolk
where?
County.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
live near like 20 minutes from Canton.
All right. So
Anywho,
you know.
yeah, like so this is the same James. This is the same people. This is the same people who covered up a murder of a young woman
Yeah,
who was
man.
pregnant. And I
And
like being
it's
a mother.
sickening, man. It's sickening. It's very sickening. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Just thinking about it makes me sick.
Yeah,
Being a
like
mother. Being a
being a
mother.
mother. I'm a single mother at that,
Single
right?
mother, right?
I'm a single mother. I like I'm gonna toot my own horn and say that I'm a pretty good mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the day I found out that I was having my son, I was madly in love with him. And this girl, who was abused and violated and all of these things from a really young age, these people covered up her murder so that one of their own wouldn't get in trouble. It didn't work out. He was walking free for a few years, but he's now in federal lockup, for
Where is
um,
Plevlin? Yeah, he's in
where's
federal lockup. But
yeah.
think about
But
it.
these
I mean,
like the like
they're the biggest
Trevino.
gang. They're the biggest gang, though. They protect one another. Like, so if this was like, this is what I mean. They get so mad about street gangs, but you guys are the biggest fucking gang there is because you
The
guys all
biggest
keep
gang, James.
you keep your mouth shut about Sandra Birchmore, right? But guess what? There's not. So you got people in gangs that don't agree with other gang affiliated shit, right? So they may
Right.
not participate in it. And you got cops that don't agree with other cops that are skin beefs, doing wild shit. Like John O'Keefe probably, dare I say, John O'Keefe may have known about the Sandra Birchmore case. And that's something that's possible.
Right.
What he's,
Right. Just made me have a pilot license.
no, but
Wow.
I do. I mean,
James does.
I do. We're good here. We are good.
We are good. Yeah, no, and these people, Garino was a part of that. Lanka was the first person who showed up there, right?
Yeah.
And then you
Piece
have
of
like
shit.
Fanning, all of these people, that were a part of that, and like what makes me think that, or any of us think that they're gonna be clean trying to help John O'Keefe. They did nothing to help John O'Keefe. And I think I've said this before. I think I said it on you and JFK's channel. Like, regardless of whether they think that
They're
he's
helping.
guilty or not, it should be quashed. She should not be charged just by the investigation alone. Have you ever thought about what's going to happen when the new trial comes? Proctor can't testify. He was the lead investigator. If he gets up there, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what? You're fired." You
Well,
know,
why do you think they're
Tully
trying to
Gates.
discredit Dr. Russell? And I'm sorry, but why do you think they're trying to discredit these people immediately? Because they know the fuckery's going. What do you think's gonna happen when Proctor's on that stand, or Jen McCabe's on that stand, or Higgins is on that stand? They're talking about butt dials back and forth. Yeah, he butt dialed me, and my butt answered it, and then I said. Then we both started talking shit to each other. Like, come on, man. Hank's gonna be like, can you repeat that, please? Your butt. It's just gonna be wild, man. Like,
Yeah,
so they're trying to get the people that they hold at a higher standard. They're trying to get them out of there because they already know they're gonna have to deal with all this bullshit again.
right.
And
Absolutely.
I hope it doesn't go that far. I hope Hank is gonna turn into the good Beetlejuice and make this right, and that's who Hank Brennan
I don't
is.
know. It's looking real suspect. I
Well,
I
well,
was I was like, at first I had the high hopes for Hank Brennan that he was going to do the right thing, but seeing all of these hearings, I don't think so. I mean, he's playing defense just like Lally was, just in a more smooth way. Trying to get Karen's fathers and
listen, Lally
mothers.
doesn't even want to show up there. You see his face; he's
Yeah, I
so
don't.
miserable.
Yo,
He
he's sitting
probably
there
ain't even getting
all
paid
hunched
to
over.
show up. It's like when the camera goes on Lally's face every time, he's just like, I fucking hate my life.
I
I
almost
fucking hate my
died.
life.
He hates his life.
Yo, Lally's ready
Me
to call into
too.
our show next, man. Hey, Lally, check us out with JFK and Show Off and James Jackson. You can call us anytime. If you're having a problem, you don't have to call the 1-800 hotline. You call us. We're here for you. Get the
That's
fuck
very
out of
funny.
here.
It's like, and like
Oh, shit.
how can Brennan be Whitey's lawyer and then come after Karen Reed? Like,
Right.
this is like career suicide for him. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what in the
Whitey's
world,
rolling in his fucking grave right now, Hank.
right?
What the fuck are you
Whitey's not a
doing?
snitch, right?
Whitey's not no
Um,
rat. If Hank Brennan doesn't think Whitey Bulge is a rat, how could he think Karen Reed is guilty of this murder? If
Preach it,
Santa
James.
Claus, if Santa
Talk about
Claus
it.
can tell you that Karen Reed is innocent, who doesn't believe Santa Claus? I still believe in Santa Claus, and
I
I'm
believe in Santa
43.
Claus.
You know,
He's
Christmas
magic.
is beautiful. It's a
It
magical time of
is.
year, and it's
It
time for
is.
some magic to start happening. Not bedtime magic, but some magic.
David Allen Boucher.
A little David Allen Boucher. You are now in the mix with David Allen Boucher with
He was the
Bedtime Magic.
best. He was the best.
Crafty
Crafty
Crits.
Chris. This is my work wife.
Hey,
She
work
says,
wife.
Hank, hey, work. Yeah, she's amazing. Hank was attacking Dr. Russell, trying to say that she has dementia or something. The real jury would never stand for that. Dude, she is overqualified.
Yeah,
And the fact that that's
she's
like my
definitely overqualified.
discretion for her to have to go through this again and come back,
Well, that's the thing they
that's out of her
do.
fucking mind.
I mean, I was on the Young Jerks. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. James
Yep.
Jackson. I call him. So this is something I got. Actually, I won't even say that, but well, I will. I call him Ben. People were thinking I was calling him Benadryl. No, 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 no.
I always think
I
that when
was
you say
thinking. You
that,
see, I'm
yeah.
always thinking, man. Your man's always thinking. I'm working too. So, me and Mikey are known as the guys that smoke that weed, right? So I'm thinking, all right, we got Better O on here. I'm gonna call him Better Dro and put like BETTA and then Dro, like the hydro, and we're gonna make our own strand. We're gonna get a deal. Better Dro. We got Better Dro. We got Better Dro
I
than
like
you.
it.
We got Better Dro than
I
you.
know.
So disclaimer,
Oh my god.
copyright, don't steal that. But yeah, no, I was on there talking with him and just to get his perspective. He said that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to disclaim her as much as they can, to discredit her, and that's their job, to discredit her. And
Right.
dare I
But
say,
how
they
can you?
almost
Like,
made her cry.
she was a Malden cop.
Yeah, she was. She
She was
was
a Malden cop.
first
Yep.
Malden
I mean,
woman police officer.
that's right. Good for
Yeah,
her. I mean, she's a
good for
boss.
her.
Like, and not for nothing too. She made a first book for dog bites for physicians years ago. Like, she is the person that wrote the book on dog bites.
Mm.
Let's talk about Chloe for a second, James. What do you think happened to Chloe?
Ah, Chloe. I love
Chloe.
dogs, so I hate to even think about Chloe. It's just so sad. I mean, I got a beautiful dog, and she's great. And just to hear them called Chloe it's like you had Chloe for 7 years, and you said Chloe's, it got replaced. It,
It got replaced,
damn.
yeah.
That's I seen somebody, I don't know who it was. I went in some rabbit hole on Twitter, and it's funny because Twitter is a very very vile place. But since this call in, right? I haven't seen since somebody called into the show that everybody now knows as Higgins. I haven't seen one of these people from the non-believers. That's what I like to call them, because
Yeah.
I'm not with the other side. Like, eventually, someone's gonna be right here, right? But I just think they need to believe more. But no, nobody said nothing. Not even on Twitter. You haven't seen shit about this,
Nothing. Nothing.
and I find that fascinating. But I did see this person say how they think that Kevin came, and this is a great point. I saw this. They think that Chloe that the reason why Chloe didn't bark when all that shit was going on, and I thought about this too. And then I saw it in writing, and I was like, holy shit. That, because, that dog definitely would have reacted to a fire engine, ambulance, cop cars, women screaming, all that commotion out front. That dog would have been at the window scratching it. As
Would
soon as I
have
leave,
been bugging.
right, as soon as I leave
Bugging
the house,
out.
my dog's at the window scratching. And it's like,
Absolutely.
so my only theory could be that Chloe wasn't even there. So after all that shit happened and Chloe bit him, they called Kevin, yo, you gotta come get Chloe. And then he came and got Chloe and got her out of there because who else would
Or
Chloe trust after she
Tristan
just.
and the daughter.
Yeah, but I think it had to be someone closer that Chloe trusted
You think
after
so?
she just mauled somebody. Yeah. They're not going to say, here, go play with this person. They're going to say, Kevin, get over here. Because Kevin knows, he comes over wearing the uniform, got it to the side, like, just some canine shit, some cop
Yeah.
shit. And that's just
Do you
my
think
belief.
too during the during the trial they mentioned Coco? Okay, first of all, I just want to put it out there that I think that Coco seems like a battered woman from Brian Albert. That's my opinion. I think that she's just like conforming to what Brian wants her to do, and that makes me really sad for her. I think that a lot of people are drug into this and don't know how to get themselves out because if one person rolls, they all go down, right? I'm just gonna put that out there. I feel bad for her in some type of way. But she mentioned on the stand that Chloe had gotten adopted out into Vermont and that Lally had the information about it and never handed it over. And then that was it. Nothing else was ever said about it. Why wasn't there an investigation into if Chloe is in Vermont? Like,
Because Chloe's not in Vermont. Chloe's in heaven right now. She's in All Dogs
she
Go to
is.
Heaven,
Right.
and
But how is that okay lying from the stand? Wouldn't you investigate it?
so yeah, I mean, they should. You're right. I think they should. But what at this point, what are they gonna do if they find Chloe? You know what I'm saying? You think there's gonna be some DNA still in her? You think I mean, if they want to find her, this is what I saw on Twitter, and it was pretty crazy. Someone said that Kevin Albert had his pool filled in with cement,
He did.
and they say that's where Chloe is.
Yeah, really sad. Well,
So
and
if
you
you
know
want to
too,
find
actually,
Chloe, yeah, I mean, she's down there like a statue, and she
yeah,
might have some DNA on you.
memorialized. It's awful. Well, and that's thing too. They were like they were testing blood and everything like off of John O'Keefe's shirt for dog. They didn't test his skin for dog DNA, but they are testing it for his shirt in only certain areas and stuff. Like, who are these people working for the Massachusetts State Crime Lab? Can you riddle me that? A Brady violation. If the prosecution had information which is not turned over to the defense, it's clearly a Brady violation. And Shari, you are absolutely correct. How about the
Well, I'll tell
basement
you,
floor? Kelly says.
yeah, I'll tell you right now. When you just said, "Can you riddle me that?" Like, who's working at these crime labs? There was a time back in shit. I wish I had it up on deck. If JFK's still in the chat, he might know. But there was a woman, Annie Dukin. She worked for the crime lab doing all the drug testing, and she
Yep.
sabotaged all the she sabotaged some drug testing.
Hmm.
And when she did that, every case that ever was under Annie Dukin,
Two of my boys got out of jail because of that.
listen, I had already sat for
And
that,
they
like,
had
and I
bids,
was,
like.
yeah, but I sat for that, right, and then came home like years
uh,
later and got a letter in the mail. You are, I was like, yeah, shit, a little too late for this letter. Threw that shit off the wall. But no, for
it's
real,
awful.
that's what happens. It's like this woman sabotaged her because she had some issues or someone gave her, maybe someone threw her some money on the side. Who the fuck knows what happens? But she did it and she got caught.
Mhm.
And all the cases that she ever was like the lead
Ever touched?
ever touched, it was it was just credit. You know, see you later. You're free. You're free. You're cool. You suck. You're cool. Go home. All right. And that's just the way it went. People got
Right.
letters in the mail years later, and that's just the way it happened. And now you got what's his name, Proctor, where you're looking at this guy's put some serious people away. He's put people that killed people. He's put people that molested or raped, and now they might walk because there's some sloppy police work you did. You
Asking for new
piece of shit.
trials.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, it's
Well,
just crazy.
Brian Walsh, who incinerated his wife at his
Right.
mother's apartment in Swampscott, and now he is asking for all types of stuff, all Brady information, all the text messages, all the everything. And not for nothing, like for Proctor to be looking for nudes and saying all of those things, like how violating is that? Like it's bad enough that these people are accused of crimes or these women are victims like of like you were saying rape and everything and they're looking for nudes on a phone like
I mean,
showing.
obviously at home things weren't great because, like, I don't know, man. If I'm with somebody and I love her and she means everything to me and she's my wife, I really ain't gonna be like looking for nudes or I don't know. Is that funny, Proctor? Was that like a joke at work? The guys look for nudes through women's phones. Like, you guys sound like a bunch of weirdos, man. You guys
Fucking
sound
weirdos.
like some straight up.
Creeps.
If you weren't in a cop uniform, you would be in some sex at three, level three. What did I say it was?
Sex
Sex offender
offender.
threes. Yeah, you'd be wearing some sex offender threes. Um, just some wild shit. You hide behind that badge is what you guys do, and a lot of yous do it, and a lot of yous get away with it, and it's time for that shit to stop. And I don't want to go on too much talking more about it. Um, Sherry D, love you. Everybody in the chat, love you.
Yes, thank you guys all for being here.
Yeah, I know it's a first live. We're just trying to,
James is a
um,
sweetheart. That's all right.
who's
That's
that?
right, Kelly.
Kelly,
Kelly.
thank you. Kelly, thank you. Um,
Yes.
yeah, we're just
I mean, no
trying.
man should be violating a woman like that in general. I mean, it's like, he's married and stuff, but not a lot of people, not a lot of men who are married give any credence to their wife and they play a part, That happens a lot.
Yeah, well, that's why I think maybe things weren't the best at home because, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just me speaking. I'm just speaking from my perspective. Like, I couldn't
Right.
wait to get home. Like, never mind talking about if I found any nudes. That's like the least. If I'm on a job, it's like, have I found any nudes? Man, I'm trying to do this shit and get home, man.
Right?
But
Absolutely.
it's wild. It's just wild. And shout out to A Timothy Connie, for
Yes. Yeah. He's actually
everything he
live
is.
right now.
Yeah, he's live right now, so I don't want to take up too much of the,
Yeah.
because I
Agreed.
know a lot of people over there, and I just, Amy, I respect everything you're doing, everything you're going through. My prayers are with you.
Thank you.
Um, you got this. You're a strong person. Um,
Cancer
and
sucks.
yeah,
But
it does.
in the long run, I'll be better for it, and I'm just want it to go away, and I'm gonna fight until it's gone. And
Yeah, I
if you
mean,
guys could, I do have a my mother set up a GoFundMe for me. If you guys want to go on social media and share that for me, I'm going to be out of work for quite a while. And I do have a 4-year-old son, and it's not like me to ask for help. I'm not that type of girl, but right now I really need it. So,
mm,
all the prayers, and just love that helps too. So,
right. Prayers
yeah,
do help. Prayer
and
has helped me get
definitely
through it.
prayers help you get through it. And also, if you guys go over and sub to James Jackson's channel if you haven't
James
already.
Jackson, yes,
Yes,
thank you.
he is at James JKSN on YouTube, and he's on Twitter and everything else. So if you guys could go over there and do that, that'd be awesome. James is awesome. So that'd be wonderful.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Amy.
Well, yeah, of course. I hope we can do this again. It's been fun. Thank you guys
Yes,
all for being here.
I appreciate each and every one of you rocking
Yeah,
out with
thank
us,
you.
and
Love you
have a
guys.
great Saturday night. Not Friday.
I, I thought it was Friday. I can't even get my fucking day straight.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I mean,
All
shit.
right.
My days have been going into the next day, so it's all good.
Right.
But
Yeah,
everybody, peace
it's
and
been a
love.
hard couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yes, it definitely has.
Yeah. Yes. All right, guys. We love you. Thank you for being
Love
here. We'll
you.
see you guys again.
All right. Bye, Amy.
Bye.